Yo, yo. What's up, you guys? Damn, I guess I can't see shit right here. How you guys doing today? Thank you to... Oh, there's only one person here. But what's up, Charlie boy? Thanks for becoming a participant of our stream. Yeah. While I'm waiting for some people to get here, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick disclaimer for the video. I'm not a licensed medical professional. Nothing I say is intended as health advice. Any major changes you make to your diet or any other aspect of your lifestyle is something that you should check with a licensed medical professional with before enacting in your own life. I'm also not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is a recommendation for investment. And I'm a law-abiding citizen. Nothing I say is an admission of guilt. I think that covers everything. I'm just a dude with a unibrow. And the unibrow brings insight. And the insight is available to you for the low price of 99 cents a month. If anyone wants to become a participant. So, otherwise you can watch other people's insights for free. What's going on? We got our first chatter. Leffy Power. How are you doing? Nice to see you again. Leffy Power says, interesting topic today. I don't know much about chakras, but does the armpit chakra play a role in how I release emotional or energetic toxins? That's a great question. I don't know, to be honest. I didn't even know there was an armpit chakra. I was just driving to Vegas, and I guess we're getting right into we're going to knock out the topic that I posted for the thing right away, but let me just actually go ahead and, for the sake of people actually trying to understand this that didn't watch yesterday's stream, you need to go watch yesterday's stream for the other half of this story, because I rewatched the stream and then realized that I did this whole setup to talk about this experience that I had 2 days ago. And then I got off track with another question or whatever, and then never executed the actual point of what I was saying. So, and by the way, good morning, Jennifer. So before I was saying about, how I seen that tree of life, style chakra system thing, and that how I kind of resonated with it because I felt my throat and my heart very connected, and my root and my chakra very connected, right? But I didn't. Didn't end up saying is that I didn't understand some of what was going on the sides. I know there's hand chakras, that happens at some point. But anyways, long story short is I was driving to my current location, and actually I was chanting the Om, and I was in the same place geographically as where I was driving when I did that the first time, right? And as I'm doing that, I'm kind of letting my thoughts try to kind of drift away. But in their drifting, I started thinking about hair. And I was just thinking about, the whole theory of the hair being a connection, have some type of functional unit, right? And I was thinking about the locations of the hair, and it all makes sense, you know what I mean? The mouth, the head, little fuzz over the body just for the whatever, But I couldn't figure out the armpit thing. I was like thinking about the armpits. I was like, what? I was like, it's like the armpits kind of in my mind. Sam, cut it out. Hey, we're like throwing off the theory. I was like, I don't know. I think it's the armpits that throw it off. I was like, maybe I'm missing something, you know? So I started thinking about the armpits. I started thinking about the hair in the armpits, and I had my arms up, both hands on the steering wheel, right? And so all of a sudden I started getting an activation in my armpits, like super strong in both armpits. And it was like literally like that same feeling as like what you get with like a heart or a throat activation, like that, like pleasurable, like, oh, like I'm glowing, like feeling, you know what I mean? But like it was in both my armpits, right? So then I'm going, no way. I was like, I wonder if there's, so I just consulted with online real quick and was like, armpit chakras. And sure enough, like armpit chakras are a feature. They're considered minor chakras in yoga, and also it's a feature in the Taoist perspective on the chakra system. And obviously there's what I was referring to before is I assume that that's maybe part of the tree of life. I could be wrong, I don't know, but you know, that one has like the stuff on the sides, and I'm kind of going like, you know, trying to fit that into my body of things that I've actually felt myself. But really it's the Taoist one is like the one that I continue to find it to be very true to my experience, whatever I've found there. But I've also found it to be significantly harder to find information there. Anyways, welcome Anna, welcome Zemir. Thank you for being part of our stream. Susum from France, thank you for joining us. Knockout, thank you for joining us. Were you on the Geico's commercials? What happened? Well, you know, yeah, me and Geico, we had I was actually supposed to be on like the sequel to the Geico commercials. That was going to be more like no, I'm just joking. But that would be cool. If I would actually take that job, I think that they should hire me for Geico commercials. I don't know how much, what a day on a Geico set looks like, but I would probably try it out and see what's going on. Oh, you know what? I just realized that members only mode is not on. No wonder we got some random things going on here. Well, whoops. I guess that was an accident. Well, it's fine. We'll just let it roll. I thought that it would save the settings, Matthew, when I did it last time. I don't know why it did this. Because it was on a totally separate thing on the dashboard as well. But anyways, it's okay. No, you would have still been able to see it. We just only do members only chat is our thing, because now I gotta be more self-conscious of my appearance now. 1 second. Since not because of my own ego, pride, or anything, but because we're gonna end up with too many distracting comments otherwise. Action here. Second, you guys. The hair is actually coming along though. It's starting to go. It's going through the transformation process rapidly. Hey, you. What are you doing? I don't think anyone wants to see that. Get out of here. Sam, stop it. Hey. Stop. Okay. Hey. Monster. Got this. Hey, Sam. Seriously, dude. Please. My bed. Okay. Hey, leave me alone. Anyway, so back to what we were saying. I don't even know. Does anyone have any questions? What do you guys want to talk about today? I'm open. Oh yeah, so that was the whole armpit chakra thing. If anyone has any information about armpit chakras, this is a great opportunity for you to share your knowledge right now with a willing audience of participants, which you may or may not normally have for subject as rare as armpit chakras, but I have confirmed their existence, you guys. So, you know, if the information's out there, we know it's possible. Hey, Sam, dude, you're being a total terrorist. Come here. It probably does. I think that probably it does have something with the, let me read the question so that makes sense for people that are just listening. But Leffy Power says, I would think armpit chakras are similar to how lymph nodes work physically. And I think it does have a lot to do with that. I actually have considered that the whole system is possibly has something to do with the lymph system because it requires kind of some type of movement for certain types of activation. Like, for example, Kundalini activation requires some type of movements. Now, that movement can be as simple as as breathing. Of course, you need to breathe like deep if you want to get certain circulation going on. But like, for example, like in when you're engaging like your lower stomach and you're breathing like from the stomach, that's enough to get like the lymph flowing around your abdomen, right? And you'll see it in a lot of different stuff. Like you'll see it at, obviously in yoga, you see it in things like people do it by dancing and stuff like that. But I have considered that it has a lot to do with the lymph and the lymph nodes, and I imagine that that's probably why there's so many like minor chakras, because possibly you're able to activate your lymph nodes or something at some point. I don't know, but like I agree, Leffy. I think that there is potentially maybe it's possible to go that deep into your self-exploration to access your lymph nodes, Welcome all new people. Let's see. Matthew says, can chakra strengths reflect one's life mission? Are certain chakras more connected to one's career life or path? In any given person, more chakras tend to be more active than others. I don't know, honestly. I'm not really I haven't really studied about chakras that deeply and all that stuff. It's just that it's been like a strong feature of the process that I've been going through. Like sometimes when something activates, like it creates like a really, really strong sensation in some kind of weird way. Like, for example, like at some point, like I had some weird thing that was happening all the time with my tongue, where my tongue would feel like it was like electrified. Like literally, like I felt like I was gonna like shoot like lightning out of my tongue. You know what I mean? Like I felt like my tongue was like, I don't know how to say, and it's just like you just felt electric, and it's like you just want to sit there and just be a fucking weirdo and just be like stretching your tongue because you just like can't stretch it, you know what I mean? Like it's like wants to go up inside your head, like you want to like lick the inside of your nasal cavity with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a weird thing that happens, you know, or the same thing with the hands and the feet, you know, like you get really strong sensations in them. And like with the heels, you can also, like I've had a situation where like my heels, well, I've actually been able, this is one of the few things I've been able to recreate a few times where like I'm like drawing energy from the earth to the point that like I'm like jogging, running, like, you know, I do barefoot hiking and stuff, and to where I didn't even need to breathe. It's like my breath was coming from my feet. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, just to try to explain it in some way, you know. There's like a lot of little secondary things that happen that aren't maybe like, you know, on that scale of a major breakthrough where you're like fully upgraded or something, but they're like little upgrades like happen along the way. You know, the same thing is like, there's like even like right now, like I'm like with the sun on the back of my head right now, like I'm like right now as we speak, I'm like breathing it in down my spine. I don't know how to explain how it is, but like with each breath, like I feel the sun like coming down my spine in like some kind of pleasurable way, you know. And I don't know, it's just like they're just physical. You just have to once you turn the stuff on, it's just kind of like on. Like with the hands and feet thing, whenever I want to turn them on, I just think about climbing a mountain, you know, and I have this like whole vision of like climbing a mountain, like, or like free solo climbing, and like looking down, and it's just like fucking endless drop behind, and bam, the heels and hands kick on. You know, like it's just little tricks like that. Like I never really understood the whole guided meditations and all that stuff. It never like worked for me. Like I would never like, you know, in it. But like, you know, if you come up with your own and you feel your body and how it affects you, eventually there's little meditations to like access these little things. You know, like that's a great example of that. You know, you just figure out what you got to think about, or what you know, especially so if you have an experience, if something starts happening, you know, you don't want to overanalyze it to the point that you come out of it, but like when it's freshly ending, try to make like way heavy, like, you know, meditate on what you felt like at the time when it was happening, or what you were thinking about at the time when it was happening, or what you weren't thinking about at the time when it was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like try to reverse engineer the whole thing. That's what I do. I don't really read about stuff. I have never been taught by anyone. I don't know, you know, all this stuff, like what you just said about the connections, the career path and all this other stuff, like super interesting to me. And I believe that is like a thing, because it's all, you know, more or less like this is, you know, nothing really makes sense in the world when you start realizing how it actually works. So trying to make sense of it is like kind of whatever, but like there are connections like that, you know. It's like weird, you know, like for example, one of the big weird things that like dawned on me was the interconnectedness, and it runs both ways between like physical and emotional, the physical body and the emotional body. Like, you know, you can have physical trauma and injury, or, you know, whatever, that didn't affect you emotionally at all. Maybe you just were like, whatever, maybe you didn't even notice it happened over the course of a long time. You know, you just slowly banged your shoulder out with a hammer. You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize that in doing that, you caused yourself trauma. Maybe you do, like you're like, oh, my shoulder's sore, but you don't know why you're angry about some stupid thing, or you have some kind of negative emotional trait. Like doesn't make any sense, but it's connected to that shoulder. Do you know what I'm saying? And like it's like there are connections between stuff like that, you know. And the same thing, it's like for me, like I noticed it in my hips, you know, from doing what I did for so long in the movies. Like, I put a lot of strain on my hips, and when I stopped doing it, they like kind of tightened up and locked up. And then it's like, you know, if you go and read about like the things that attached to that, like it's like it perfectly has mirrored things that were happening in, you know, within me at that time, and that what I was able to release by just doing stretching and stuff. Like, it's very strange. Oh yeah, today was it. Frank Anna says, "Don't you have some type of anniversary today?" And I do. This was the day when I had that whole cosmic love experience last year. So it was actually last night. It would have been like right around. It would have been like sometime shortly after midnight. But you know, last year, shortly after midnight on this day. Yeah, I was, you know, looking down at the earth like it was my favorite thing. It was awesome. One of the absolutely most incredible experiences of my entire life. It probably actually was the most incredible experience of my entire life. Like, these other things are like comparable in awe, but that was like the single most pleasurable and amazing thing, the thing which I enjoyed more than anything I've ever done in my entire life. All the experience I've had my entire life, my very favorite experience was 1 year ago today, as of midnight. So it's pretty special. But yeah. And sorry, I don't want to get emotional here. JC says, "Man, do you know Nityananda? He's a great spiritual meditation state." I don't know him. I've honestly just been kind of like, you know, like in my own bubble. So I'm not like super knowledgeable about stuff. But like, I'll definitely have to check them out here. I'm gonna screen cap that so I remember. And you know, 1 second. Lefty Power says, "Do you think all chakras need equal attention?" I think that you just have to bring the attention to them all at least once. You know, like you need. Like, I feel like possibly when you turn one on and to the point that you can like feel it very acutely, you know, that it like activates whatever's associated with that chakra, or that it triggers it to cleanse itself out, or whatever it does. I don't know what it does, but for whatever reason, I think it's like once you turn it on, it's on. Like, you just got to hit the on button, it stays on. You know what I mean? Like, I won't stay on like super strong, like, but you'll be able to like access it after that. It's probably, you know, it could even be as crazy as, you know, if you want to get into like the Joe Dispenza style thinking of it, like it could be literally like when you do that, you activate a gene, you know, something like that. But it's literally like, it's that, this is what we're, the more you, when, you know, you got to start thinking. It's, spirituality is about reversing your thinking, okay? Like, and this is why, okay, it seems very mechanical and like scientific when we start thinking about, okay, genes and this is what we're doing with our body, but that's because that's only seems like that when you're thinking from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? You're thinking from fucking third dimension to fourth dimension. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't connect. No, stop thinking like that. Start thinking like you are your higher self. You know what I'm saying? Be your higher self. Stop being like that and start looking down at yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? And be like, how the fuck do I work this thing? Like, I have this fucking super high-tech technology that I'm fucking operating remotely with my mind. I'm fucking Avatar. And I'm trying to work this thing. How do I work this thing? Like, think of it like you're a fucking drone operator. Excuse my language. Sorry, guys. I get all excited. But this is a cool this is a good, I feel like this is a good way to, like, get it to some certain minds that, like, can't get it. But, like, not to say it's anyone here, but just for the sake of the recording. So think more like you're a drone operator. Stop being like, I'm the drone. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's working me? Like, well, that's what you originally have to figure out, is like, who's operating me? And you're like, okay, it's me operating me. Right? And then so reverse your logic. Stop being like, me. It's all me first. Everything's about me. Because you aren't you. That's not you. You know what I'm saying? You're somewhere else, and you're working this machine. And so that's where the whole science and everything gets involved into it. But it's not all science, because you have to use your heart for this stuff. And it sounds weird when you say that, but that's just like it's a thing of the English language, because we use things like heart and love for too many different things. You know what I'm saying? And of course, these heavy, very, high spiritual concepts that are attached to that, because it mimics the feeling in a very extreme way. We just don't have the vocabulary for it. You know what I mean? So, but you operate it from your heart, and you do that with, like, sensation and emotion. And if you've had an activation, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you never have, it sounds weird. And so that's, you know what I'm saying? But you have to still. So the part of your brain that you can use your logical reasoning for is to reverse the thinking of realizing that this is the machine and you're somewhere else operating it, and start thinking, how do I work the machine? Start spending a lot of time just feeling your body. Close your eyes, clench different muscles, breathe deeply, try different breaths, try different rhythms of your breath, hum, feel the vibrations. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. Like, learn to work the machine. You know what I mean? That's what you are. You're just your machine, your hardware. You know what I mean? But your consciousness, it's somewhere else. It never dies. You got to figure out which, you know what I'm saying? Like, get to know that. Once you're in touch with the fact that you're that, then you can realize that you're looking down, and then you can also have the even greater realization that you can still look up, because you're in the middle. Your higher self is in the middle. It's between you and between that which created you. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to level. You just got to level up. You know what I'm saying? But this is like, super low version of yourself. Someday you're going to have, like, a metaverse self, and that's going to be your even lower self. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that. It's inception, it's a dream within a dream within a dream within a dream, and the highest level, time doesn't exist. Time is this construct that makes the game interesting as you level down, and it goes faster and faster and faster. But all the information, even from the lowest point, is all traveling up to the highest point. So the more levels down it goes, the more it expands, the more information, the more quantum the whole experiment gets. So the super intelligence at the highest point, you know what I'm saying, benefits the lower that we go down also. So we got to get to know this. We got to operate this. We got to do 3D things, because our experience is creating information and data for our highest self. And beyond what's that, I don't know. I can only guess, but who knows? If it goes higher than that, then it goes really fucking high. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in something cool. Like, something cool is happening, for sure. We're just like little partitioned, part of this whole game. Like, it's amazing. It's awesome. Like, look around. Look what you can feel. Look what look how realistic this is. That's pretty cool. Okay, so back to the chat. Magic says, yes, I just had a session about some sort of blockage around my armpit area that was affecting my girl. Was storing fat around my breast tissue and had no idea armpit chakras were real. I didn't know any either. I just suddenly I thought about them. I brought my attention to them. This is how I did it. I had my hands up on the wheel. I was thinking about them. I was thinking about, why is there hair there? And then bam, it's just boom, they just turned on, started glowing. Chicken Butt says, damn, bro, you should be the poster child of a unibrow. Hell yeah, dude. You know what? When I made the decision to grow the unibrow in, right? Like, honestly, I'm honestly proud at having that much confidence that I didn't give a fuck that much, that I was willing to deal with what it originally looked like, the hella sparse one. But now it's like so thick that I'm like, damn, I wonder if it would have been that thick if I never plucked it for 10 years, 20 years, or whatever it was. I remember the first time when I started plucking it, I remember when being in the 6th grade, and some girl in the pizza line told me, you'd be really hot if you plucked your unibrow. And I didn't even know what she was, I didn't even understand or waxed your unibrow. I was like, I didn't even know that it was a thing. And so sure enough, everything changed after I waxed the unibrow. I became Mr. Popular. But now I'm over it. I've gone far enough. Now I like to make it harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bruce Venture side quest, is more difficult because you don't recognize him when you see him in public. You know what I'm saying? Be like, oh, who is this humble looking man? Nobody realizes that what just escaped. Why don't I trim up? Well, I just, it's about respect for my creator, and also it's about, letting my body function at its highest level. And the hair is part of the body. It has a function. It's actually a really important part of the nervous system, and it's more important to me for my body to be functioning at its highest level than it is for me to impress people whose opinions I don't particularly take as an influential part of my own life. Angel says that's Molly for you. Yeah, you know what, Angel? Molly is a great way of explaining what is possible within the realm of spirituality and learning to operate your body on a higher level. But the thing is that the best Molly in the world does not compare to what your body can create. It's actually the internal chemistry inside you. Like, the chemist inside you is the ultimate master chemist. It's made specifically for humans, for human consumption. With, not only does it have no ill effects or downsides or side effects, but it actually heals you every time that it happens and you release some of this stuff. So it's pretty fucking awesome, because you can have the role of your life and go to sleep afterwards for 20 something hours and then wake up like, you know, younger than when you started. It's amazing. I did leave the industry, George, to answer your question. What's up in Indonesia, Adi? Dads do stuff too. Sick eyebrows, bro. Thank you, thank you. I grew them myself. You've never seen eyebrows like this? I know, isn't that the craziest part, is that you've never seen eyebrows like this? And honestly, if people were not plucking their eyebrows, you would see them. And so that means literally that you've never seen a man that had the balls to just be totally natural. Everybody fucking you've ever known that had eyebrows like that, had the ability to grow eyebrows like this, they caved in and they broke to society. That's what you got to realize. His is not scary. Says, bro looks like he does yoga. Something. Let's see. I don't know, Dixie. Let's see. What is not okay? Says, I was meditating on meth. How did that go for you? That seems complicated. Yeah, totally, dude. Hits blunts. The blunts are not, you know what, the blunts can be okay, but you just gotta like put like at least a month in between them. That way it's at its like absolute maximum possibility, and just really then go meditate. It'd be a good experience for you, I promise. Not medical advice. Let's see. Chucker says he will win any competition about the ugliest. Well, that's very nice of you. Charles says, you look like someone famous, bro. Magic says, wow, Troll Sunday. Yeah, you know, it's okay. I thought it was going to be a private stream, so I came on in my humblest form, and I accidentally didn't realize that that it was open chat. And it says, friends, please be polite. If you just came here to troll around, please get a life. And yeah, you guys, sorry for the people watching the recording. They're just listening. I'm trying to find a real question. But we're having like a major influx of trolls. But we're also having a lot of traffic, so that's good. And today will actually be, I didn't cross the line. I still have 50 hours actually to get to the ad revenue level on YouTube, but between yesterday's stream and today's stream, we'll definitely get it now. So that's cool. Cannonball says, have you had any chronic pain or illness that you could link to emotional causes rather than physical overexertion you often mention? I think so. You know, I think it can also work the other way around. So I think I definitely had a lot of that. Like, I think that you can be emotionally traumatized, and that that can eventually that can cause physical trauma as well. So I was having like major back problems. I mean, my body was falling apart at some point, and that's honestly what led to all this discovery, because literally I was like so fucked up I thought I was dying, you know. And that's when I started fasting and doing all this different stuff. And long story short is, you know, I was in like a, you know, I was in a relationship that was wearing on me pretty hard for several years, and it was, you know, only after getting out of that relationship did all the physical ailments just, you know, kind of disappear, you know, and it was all kind of, yeah, I don't know. It's, yeah, it's just really interesting, like the connection between the emotional body and the spiritual body. Like, you know, like for example, even here, like you can look at, would any of these trolls like to tell us if you have any physical ailments in your body, so that we could see if there's some kind of correlation between the type of behavior that you're exhibiting and your physical body? That would be an interesting experiment. Would any of the people who have trolled me today like to join our discussion in a meaningful way and tell us about your physical ailments, your aches and pains? Where are they located? You know, that could be a good thing to do with this streaming thing going forward, is we could turn this into some type of spiritual laboratory where we can you know, actually get some real data that's not like us just reading some shit online on Google or whatever. Maybe we could actually publish some stuff, you know, start seeing if there's correlations between people. You know, that's a good place to go with this. That's sustainable and will advance humankind in a meaningful way. Does he have beard transplantations? No, but I do have a weird beard, right? Like, I wonder what it'll look like eventually, but I just don't really grow it on the sides. I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest, you guys. I don't have any body hair either. I just have a weird goatee naturally and like a freakish amount of hair on my head. Bobby says, I can smell patchouli through the camera. Patchouli's not that bad. Come on. Luffy says, what happens if a chakra stays blocked for a long time? I mean, I think that, you know, like, I don't know. I notice it pretty acutely. Like when I have something get blocked. When you say blocked, I mean, I don't think anything gets fully blocked, but when I have like something that I consider a blockage, I mean, it usually comes with physical pain and some type of like, you know, I kind of like notice like a resurgence of ego in some kind of way. Maybe I'm feeling, you know, some kind of negative emotions, like not even negative emotions, but like I don't really feel like I have a pretty good blockade between my ego and my emotional body, but sometimes it resurges just to the point that I can, like, you know, hear the mental chatter again. And, you know, I just go kind of based upon the ego's attitude. You know, if the demons start getting back in, then it's a sign that there's a weakness, you know. It usually correlates with the yogic system as well, I find. So I usually treat that with some kind of like Ayurvedic diet adjustment of some sort. And weirdly enough, I don't know why it makes sense, but it does actually usually have a positive effect. So I don't know. Could be placebo, but Cannonball. Oh, that was Cannonball Sings. Trucker says, does he have? Oh, wait, patchouli. Let's see where we got. All right, there's where we got. Any thoughts on living in New York City? You know, I used to always want to. I used to always vacation to New York. Oh, try to get some sun here. I need some sun. Charge it. Hey, get out of my. But I don't know. Like, honestly, like the city life is not really so much for me. I'm like more into the nature thing. I'm like actually trying to get, especially now with the, you know, availability of Starlink and stuff like that. Like I'm kind of, you know, and, you know, being able to earn money online, I'm pretty happy with, you know, the nomadic lifestyle. I don't really ever plan on the only really like, Sam, get away, go away. The only willing, really like tempting domestic situation for me would be like something like off-grid, like independent in that way, just because I would like to take like food independence to really know that I'm getting like real unfucked with food, because I just don't like the whole, you know, it's like, it's getting worse and worse. Like, it's like, okay, it's like hard to have even, you can't, it's like between the pesticides and all the bullshit and everything else, and then now you can't even eat meat. It's fucking, they're fucking trying to put weird vaccines in the meat supply as well. Like, it's like they're just like slowly but surely just cinching the cord, like to where there's nothing left to eat. So I don't know. I can't really see myself living in a big city again, like New York. But I don't know. I mean, I have enjoyed living in, like, I really enjoyed living in Budapest, and it's a big city, but it's like, I don't know. It's way cheaper than New York, so. Bobby Rubin says, is physical pain a manifestation of unresolved energetic or emotional patterns? We all know that pain and disease can be traced back to stress and pent-up tension. And I think the answer is that it can be. It's not necessarily always is, but let's just say that you have some type of like weird ailment that you can't get rid of, and the doctors don't know what's going on. Like, there doesn't seem to be any reason. You don't know. Like, you're having some kind of problem and nobody can figure it out, right? This is just as an example. Possibly as a treatment to that, maybe open your mind for a second and just say, okay, let's see what is said, you know, and go into some yoga theory and stuff like that and see, you know, if there's a correlation between those pains and certain chakras and whatever, and maybe just try some techniques and see if it works for you. You know what I mean? It can be stuff like that. You know, like, I tend to think that in general, you know, like, fasting is kind of like my cure-all. Like, it's like that kind of purges both sides, in my opinion. So if you're able to fast, like, that's another way to, and you don't know what's wrong, then that's another. What I'm just saying is that there's a relationship, but it goes both ways. Like, you can have physical damage from something that you're actually doing physically to yourself, or some injury or something that can cause an emotional problem that you don't know where that emotional problem's coming from, and vice versa, that an emotional problem, all I'm saying is that having a long-term emotional problem can eventually manifest as a physical ailment as well. And if you can't solve that emotional problem, you can reverse engineer either side the same way, is that emotional problem can be resolved, or, you know, to some extent, by fixing the physical ailment side of it. And by fixing the physical ailment side of something, you can also fix the emotional problem that causes it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thing. And so that's why balance is really important, and being at your highest working self is really important, because when you have balance, you won't have any problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything fixes each other. You working on your body physically helps your emotions. You working on your emotions helps your physicality. So instead of being like, okay, this, and trying to be so specific, if you don't know, do everything. Do the whole thing. Which one's going to hurt you? You're going to do too much emotional work, too much shadow work. You're going to do too much healing. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get in too much good shape? You're going to be too flexible? You're going to be too buff? Like, what's the problem? You're going to be too strong? Like, just work on both sides in totality. Find balance within yourself. And in doing that, learn yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to hear, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to try to tell anyone, okay, do this maneuver, do this for this, do this for this. This problem causes this, and this is this. I don't know anything like that. I just know that it's all related. And so, like, my way of not needing to know anything more, not having to read about shit, not having to learn about shit, is that I'm just doing it all. Like, I'm just trying to be as healthy as possible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to work on all my emotions. I'm trying to work on all of my body. You know, I'm trying to work on all of my diet. I'm trying to defeat all of my addictions. You know, and when you have balance, everything helps each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, your hardest part of all that will get easier because all the other parts were stronger. You know what I mean? Like, everything is interconnected. Nothing is, especially when you're talking about within yourself, nothing is separate. Your emotions are not separate from your body. Your body's not separate from your emotions. Okay? And you're not separate from God. You know what I'm saying? And you're not separate from the earth. You know what I mean? Like, you're not separate from all the other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if our society as a whole heals and grows and works on our emotions, and our society as a whole heals and grows and works on our health, and our society as a whole heals and grows and works on our addictions, then we ourselves will all interconnectedly benefit from that as well. Everything is interconnected. Everything benefits from each other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's this concept that you know what I'm saying, like, we live in a trippy system of, you know, everything is this circle of whatever, and you know, it's just yeah, you know, even the fucking food cycle. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to eat? Do you want to eat a healthy animal or a sick animal? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, does that make you healthier or sicker? Does you being healthier and knowledgeable of that emotionally and being conscious of how you're raising something make you want to give a better life to the things that you're eating? Yes. It's a fucking circle, even in the most brutal side of it. You know what I mean? Like, everything benefits from each other in some way by benefiting themselves. So the moral of the story is that all you need to do is be the best person, be the best version of yourself. Some people are like, oh my God, this guy with the eyebrows is trying to tell me to be a better person. But yes, I am. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Why do you care about eyebrows so much? Like, calm the fuck down, dude. It's just hair. Like, maybe you should stop, like, fucking picking yourself so much. You're a fucking picker, dude. Stop being a picker. Anyways, back to the chat. Tank Solo. Oh, thank you. I can already tell I'm assuming it's gonna be Starbucks sent me some money, and whoever else donated and stuff. I seen something pop up, but I was talking, so I didn't get to say thank you. I'm assuming the chat will eventually tell me, but you are appreciated, everybody that's donating and stuff. So what does it feel like to have balanced chakras? Well, that's something you got to find out for yourself. But, you know, when you have them balanced and strong, it feels like little orgasms all over your body. You know, like, maybe like you've had some type of feelings at some point where you were like stretching, maybe like your lats or your, you know, maybe your legs or your back, or you were doing some kind of like twisting thing, and maybe you had some kind of like crazy like surge that like came up your spine through the back of your head, neck, or edge. You know, those kind of little sensations that we just kind of brush off as like, oh, that was weird but cool, like, you know, those are just little manifestations of, you know, your chakras. You know, it's all related to your nervous system and your you know, as we were saying earlier, your lymphatic system, and even your fascia, and your, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's, yeah, it's just, it's the energy in your body, you know, it's the electricity inside you, kind of. And you can feel it so acutely, like it's extremely pleasurable in most cases, you know. There's some stuff that's weird, but you know, it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, I guess, unless you have an issue. That's like usually a sign if there's discomfort. So it's all good stuff. Thank you, Anna, for the rotisserie chicken for Sammy. He's got two rotisserie chickens from Anna now. We're gonna have to hit the Costco. Couple chickens, dude. Do I know Illuminati? I don't know the Illuminati. You know. The question is, does the Illuminati know me? Bobby Light says, I get spirituality. It's important, but it needs to go alongside real life. Life doesn't operate on thoughts and feelings, just operates on actions. It's how it is. That's true. There's something like that. Like, I think that it would be, you know, for most people, especially people, if they have like a family or something like that, like it's really, really super important to stay balanced. And it's also really, thank you for reminding me, but like, you know, some of the higher level workings and possibilities of spirituality are actually things that you should not do and not initiate, because if you have a family and have a lot of like important things to do in the physical world, because it can trigger a process which is unreversible, and it can be a long process where you're going to go through like a lot of emotional purging and a lot of physical changes and a lot of shedding of things. And that's something that can be, I mean, I can't imagine having a family and going through all this and like thinking that it was going to be okay. Like it would be all bad, you know? So, you know, I have a completely different set of advice for somebody that has a family and kids and things than for somebody who is like, you know, a single free person that can do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I happen to be that. Like, I happen to be, you know, like I have a dog. Like, that's my only way to, you know, he's going to live, you know, hopefully another 10 years at least. But, you know, that's like maximum probably for his, unless I can figure out some kind of way to preserve him beyond what is perceived as natural. But you know, it's like, yeah, you gotta be able to, you know, spirituality is like at the highest level, it does eclipse your physical life. But, you know, there's a lot of things, you know, being as spiritual as possible without fully initiating something like a Kundalini awakening can still be super beneficial for someone with a family and for someone's real life and to balance their chakras and stuff like that. But it's just like, if you were going to go the like most, you know, extreme way, it should be done before you decide to have a family or after you're done raising them. You know, it shouldn't be initiated probably while you have a tremendous amount of 3D responsibilities, but you definitely should be aware of it and stuff so that, you know, you can set yourself up for the best and easiest and fastest experience when those responsibilities resolve, or so that, you know, you can teach your family and set your family up for that same success. Let's see. Welcome Usama. Welcome Q. Q says, I'm a quantum intelligence having a biological experience. Exactly. Exactly. And you might even be having multiple biological experiences simultaneously. Is the really crazy thing. You know. In fact, you probably are. Almost definitely. At the highest level, you're having billions of them simultaneously. So it's pretty, you know, at least fucking just mind-blowing. Fucking thinking about it. Love it. Bobby Rubin says, how do you chakras influence creativity and artistic expression? Whoa. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they do. If you activate certain ones, you'll just like immediately like, it'll like just the aforementioned like creativity and artistic expression. Like if you can activate your sacral, like it's fucking just like to the moon instantly. In that sense, it'll just immediately be like up like 10 times or 1,000 times, whatever. Like it's those things, yeah. Ready Vandal is asking questions. I'm not familiar with that, no. I'm not super into like, I mean, I haven't really delved down into all that. Yeah, I just am aware that things exist. And I'm also aware of the nature of reality is different than what they tell us. You know, is the official narrative of civilization and humans on Earth, but like, it's very important to be aware of spiritual concepts, I think, and not allow science to like eclipse their existence just because they can't explain it with science. So, yet, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, all things should be accounted for. Let's see. Jennifer Ann says, I saw that too, and I got this invite and looked this up. Yeah, it's so crazy, right? The armpits have chakras. How many more chakras will we find? Any life advice? So much, but I would have to know more about your life. Life advice is a specific thing. You know, the life advice I could give one person would destroy another's life. So I have to, you know, it's custom. I'm trying my best to give broad spectrum advice on here, but it has to be kind of specific because I don't want to, you know, it's honestly the hardest part of this whole streaming thing is to not to deliver the one size fits all answers to everything. You know, it just doesn't exist in a lot of cases. Have you ever smoked so much you woke up holding a joint? You know, I might have one day in some time in history had a laugh about that. I don't know. Can't remember. I got hit by lightning in 2017, so that was like kind of a lot of those special moments like that just kind of were lost, you know. Ryan says, yeah, man, but there are sometimes circumstances are different that you can't. True. Circumstances are very much a key feature of life. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you know, our creator wouldn't need to make billions of copies of us to experiment with every possibility that could ever happen. And then we wouldn't need all these multiple instances of the universe to, you know, be running on top of each other in different dimensions, and all this different stuff wouldn't be necessary if it wasn't for circumstances. But, you know, the whole point of the experiment is to know the answer to everything in every specific circumstance, but since we as ourselves are, that's, you know, that's the job of the consciousness which is above us. We only have to focus on what we're doing, and we have to have the most, you know, the best experience that we can possibly have, while also creating other good experiences for other people, because they're, you know what I'm saying, like it's about the net sum total. So do you know what I'm saying? Like if you create your good experience at the expense of others' experiences, you didn't create a net positive experience for your creator, right? You know what I mean? Like if you made more bad experiences than good experiences, you know what I'm saying? You just, like, maybe your experience was good for your creator, but you made bad experience for however many other people, your creator's not happy with you. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you are having a great time, and everyone, and whatever effect that you're having on other people is causing them to also have an improved experience, this is how you discharge your karma and become a blessed being. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the key feature of the whole thing, is to have the best time that you possibly can, be your most authentic self, and make the best time possible for other people, if you indeed will interact with other people in some way, which most people do. Katoma says, oh wait. Rack says, it's very easy to get high just by using one's own body. Yeah, exactly. If you can get, that's honestly, if you're into getting high, start there. Start with, how can I get myself high just using my mind sober? You know what I'm saying? Try to, you know, you got to get off of whatever you're on, cleanse your body, and then start experimenting. And you literally will be shocked at how easy it is and how strong it is. Like, I'm telling you, all this stuff that these drugs and stuff that people are doing, and even stuff from plants and stuff, like, it's not a perfect match for the human body. It works, but it's not a perfect match. The stuff that comes from inside you that your body created, it's a perfect match for your receptors. Like, these chemicals are incredibly strong and will cause sensations inside you can't even freaking imagine, okay? It's human specific, not just human specific, it's you specific chemicals. And you can access that totally and fully within inside yourself. You can, like, flat out. And it's worth it. It'll be the best endeavor that you ever did. And that's honestly advice for everybody. You know, just don't get strung out, because you can literally get strung out on yourself too. That's like what we're talking about when we're going like fully into spirituality, is that we're gonna get really super strung out on ourselves, because it actually has all physically positive effects. There's no negative hangover or anything. It heals you. You'll you know what I mean? Like, you'll live longer even. So, you know, and you'll be high as hell the whole time. So that's the beauty of the whole spiritual path. You know what I mean? Not just that, but that's like the fun part. You know, for the people out there, if you ever needed a reason to quit doing substances and quit getting high and to purify yourself, let it be for the same reason that you're already doing all that stuff, because it's going to make you feel amazing, like so good. You know, but except for, instead of the hangover or the addiction or anything else like that, it's just going to be like healing, healing, healing. Divineful says, take one step at a time and you will reach whatever you pursue. And that is amazing advice. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. It's the best thing that you can, some of the best ancient wisdom you can embrace right there. Jennifer Ann says, Bruce, I have heard you speak on the subject of hair a lot, and with much interest, as I have made a lifelong career on that very subject, including teaching, and you are likely correct. That's amazing. That's so good. See, this is the other cool thing I love about YouTube, is because we're like, it's a meeting of the minds. Thank you, Noy, for the donation. But it's a meeting of the minds. We're like, you know, I feel like I'm sending out the bat signal for all the people that know about stuff. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know probably nearly as much as you know. I just noticed. And so I'm happy to talk to you about that. You should definitely make sure you're in our Telegram group. I think you are, right? You recently joined. And yeah, we can always continue the conversation about the hair thing there. Are you the liver king? No. But the liver king. Frankita gifted 5 memberships. Oh wow, congratulations to everybody that got a free membership from Anna. Anna, thank you so much for gifting some memberships. That's really nice. This will be, just so you guys know, for the people that are still watching, this is normally a members only chat thing. We just accidentally did this today. That's why there was so much trolling and stuff. Normally the chats are a little bit more respectful and on subject with personal liberation, and this isn't always like this, but we are making the best of it. It is these kind of mentality does exist in the world, and so we are today reminded of it. We can't let it get us down. Anyways, but definitely the membership's only 99 cents. It's only really there to filter out the trolling. And I would love it if you guys subscribed and turn on notifications. And I'm open to answering questions outside of the spiritual space as well. The beauty of the spiritual expansion is that it grants some unique insight that allows me to answer things sometimes in ways which other people do not, or to think of it from an angle that other people have not of certain questions. So you're welcome to come and ask any questions that are within the guidelines and the terms and conditions of YouTube. And this is a fairly regular stream, so we're kind of doing this thing. Anyways, Alex says, I started fasting because I was smoking meth and couldn't eat. Well, that it's not fasting if you're still smoking the meth, though. You have to now try to do that same thing that you were doing with the no eating for a while, but without meth. And that's going to have a completely different effect on your body. And honestly, it's probably recommended for somebody in your situation, though I'm not a medical professional, and this isn't intended as medical advice, but yeah, maybe consider that. Yay, Magic's in the exclusive. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that is for the exclusive chats. I think it just kind of does it. It randomly like picks people in the room, or does it let you pick who you give it to? I don't know how that works, Anna. Let us know. It's a new feature. We just found out about that. I'm still trying to figure out if I can bring people in. Hey, get out of the bushes. Katoma is talking to Divine, says that point is true. Okay, never mind, that's not for me. Thank you, Magic, for the donation. Tim Baca says, is depression one cause? So that's mine, since my mom passed since I was 13, and she passed on when I was 1 and on my first birthday. Of course, depression is one of the main causes, and sadly, it's not, it's not a, there's so many things that, like, look, if you've had depression since you're 13, I don't know how much you are now, but for sure, spirituality is maybe a place to look. Now, the problem is, and I'm not a medical professional, I know that it can be really hard to get off psych meds and stuff, but these kind of medications and stuff tend to shut you down to open up spiritually. And also, one of the major realizations that you're going to need to have spiritually is that we are immortal. You know what I'm saying? That these bodies is not really us, and that you existed before your body, you exist after your body. So, honestly, there's circumstances that lead to people dying, and those circumstances can be, really bad in some cases. But the thing is that, they live on, like they really do. Like it's confirmed. And, time doesn't exist the same outside of this world as it does inside. So, their presence is like still with you, because it's like, even like your whole lifetime is like a snap to the next dimension, you know what I mean? So, definitely, but the thing is like, even, I'm trying to be something good on this phone that can come through to you. But most of the stuff that's going to come through the phone is going to be negative. It's meant to keep you away from your spirituality. We all have this yearning to be connected to everybody, right? And Sam, please, dude. And so we have this yearning to be connected to everybody. Yo, stop it. We have this yearning to be connected to everybody, and that's what drives this whole internet thing, right? This stands out really acutely if you like go out and say, take a walk with no phone or any type of messaging device. Be completely disconnected. Go be in nature. And, a lot of people will feel really like they're in danger. They're, what I'm saying? They don't really realize it's not really that much different than any other day, that their phone's not going to save them. But, they just feel disconnected. And that's because with spirituality, it allows us all to connect to like a universal consciousness to where we all are connected. But the thing is that the powers that be, the same powers that be that want to take away free energy and make you rely on oil and electricity and, whatever, same powers that be that want to, basically control everything, they don't want you to be connected in a way that they can't monitor, and they don't want you to have access to, something which can't be monetized, you know what I mean? So these phones and the internet and all that is basically like the plagiarism of that connection. And that's kind of where that feeds into like a big part of it, is that, a lot of people have a lot of problems like depression and things because they feel super, disconnected, and that's because they are. There is a connection that you subconsciously know you're supposed to have, and if you're not feeling it, it's horrible. Like for me, I had one day that I didn't feel it, and I felt like that day was actually like a spiritual experience all of its own, because to have it for a long time and it suddenly be gone made me realize how fucking horrible it is without it. So, that's a thing. Colleen says, fasting is so good, but I do find it hard at times with overworking. Is there anything that can help that? No. Not to my knowledge. I don't think anything can help that. But I mean, it's hard. I mean, that's the thing about fasting, is that it's the you can always build up. It's a long-term mission. You have to build up to fast longer, to fast longer, to fast longer. Eventually, fasting itself is like a whole path all on its own. Like there's many different paths to enlightenment. But one of those paths is fasting. It's just that the amount of days that you need to fast is an amount of days that if most people tried to do that or didn't eat or drink water for that amount of time, they would die. It's like you would have to spend a lot of time building yourself up, building your body, training your body to be that good at managing calories, that good at managing your hormones and everything, that good at conserving energy that you're able to make it that long. And in doing that, you can find enlightenment. And you can pretty much, not medical advice, but they say you can cure pretty much anything. Like basically almost anything with fasting, but it's like the amount of time that you have to do it is like a very long time, and it's like for real fasting, not water fasting or juice fasting. You know what I'm saying? Not having sugarless tea fasting or black coffee fasting. It's not fucking cabbage soup fasting. It's not where it's fasting. Nothing. No food. No water. Don't even absorb water through your skin. You know, it's like you let yourself be you and only you. You know what I mean? Like people don't realize how much toxins and shit come in through your skin. As soon as those toxins come in through your skin, now your body's spending water to try to detox those toxins. You know what I'm saying? So you got to like guard yourself from everything and be pure and let your body like totally just like find the center of itself. You know. Rex says, I've got one reason why certain people act a certain way. Well, a lot of them have been like, it's a lot of times it's like a manifestation of their own traumas. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them are like abused as children by their parents, you know, even if it's just verbally, you know, or neglected. You know, some have been over coddled or, you know, not, you know, to the point that they think they can, you know, they want to come on the internet and try to get away with behavior that they can't get away with in real life. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of reasons, and it's usually honestly like the type of person that comes and like talks shit to a random person online, that's especially one that's like going out of their way to try to like share something with people meaningful, is a kind of person that's in absolute agony mentally. You know, like honestly, like they need compassion more than anything else, and as much as they need that, we don't only usually have an hour, 2 hours to 4 hours at the most on these streams to try to help people. And you know, this is just not going to be the source of their compassion. I hope that they find the compassion they need someday, but it's just, you know, this isn't going to be the place. So that's why we normally have memberships on. We're doing the memberships thing. If anyone wants to get a membership. It's the cheapest possible, but we got to have some kind of barrier between us and them, because, you know, they need more help than we can provide here. So let's see. Divine says, the more you desire it, the more you suffer for it. If you're not happy in the journey, go towards yourself, follow the path towards bettering yourself and passions. Exactly. You know, if you, desire is literally the source of most suffering. Like most people, and the thing is that even if they got what they desired, it would be a very short-lived, you know, reprieve from that suffering at the best. And then eventually some new desire would just take the place and continue the cycle, you know. So by being happy within ourselves, with ourselves and only ourselves, then everything else just becomes a cool observation. Even if it's something that you quote unquote own or whatever, that you want to bring into your life to better it, a nice car, whatever, that's cool. Whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But just, you know, don't be attached to it. Don't associate with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be happy with what's there. Don't be lusting for the next thing, because that whole lust and desire thing is just, you're just burning yourself out. You're burning up your energy, and it's also just like a big part of the trap of slavery with the fucking fiat currency and the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're building fucking spaceships and fucking, Sam, dude, chill out. You know, they're building spaceships and, you know, giant Carnival cruise ships. And Sam, if you don't stop, bro, you know, like you lusting after a Mercedes Benz, like that's like fucking on the scale of all things in existence. It's like there's no worse peasantry than that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the most slave mentality that there is. Like you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the fucking technology. You know what I'm saying? Just learn that you're already driving the highest tech piece of equipment in, on Earth, and you don't even know how to work it. You're running around, you know, worrying about side quests, you know, and you haven't even figured out how the player that you're playing moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you're a fucking Olympian, you know, out there doing amazing stuff, and you have all these skills and your mind's clear and whatever, that's awesome. Like, I'm not talking to you. But, you know, if you're working a 9 to 5 and, you know, you're taking yourself super seriously about that, and you think your job's super important and blah, 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 and all that, like, think again. I'm not dissing you, but I'm asking you to expand your thinking into another realm, you know. And if you don't like it, go back to your, you know, 3D existence. But this is just coming from somebody who has fucking indulged so deeply in all the earthly delights. Well, not all of them, but many earthly delights. You know, I can just tell you that there's something else that, you know, brings a sense of peace inside, you know, where you just, there's an end to suffering. There's an end. There's a path to the end of suffering. And the path to the end of suffering is something that they want to hide from you. Because as soon as you start down that path, you become an unproductive slave. You know, and if you ever reach the end of the path, then you're free, and they lose one of their workers. You know what I mean? So, Kitomo Nana says, oh, I wonder how far I am from the bottom of the chat. Let me see. No, it's not that far. Oh, 1 second. Starbucks latte, thank you. Let's see. Sorry guys, I went to the bottom of the chat and I'm trying to figure out back where I was. Budapest. I know, I miss Budapest. I think I want to come back. It's definitely my favorite city that I've been to. Oh, that's a good question. I just found a good one. Damn, I hate to have to pass that to go back up higher, but I guess I did have a lot of chat. But I'm glad to know there's a good one coming. So, Sam? Stop it, dude. Katoma says spend 6 hours a day, 16 hours a day on working, and don't have any time to pursue a hobby. And this is kind of what I was talking about a minute ago, is like, you know, it's, yeah, the world is fucked. No one should be working 16 hours a day unless it's on, you know, something they love. I don't know, it's just crazy to me. I'm not, Cannonball says, there's certainly a correlation between suppressed problematic emotions and blocked energy centers and pain. This year, real estate projects forced me to live in a city I never wanted to live in and avoided as much as I could. By summer, I had persistent neck pain, jaw pain, and one day woke up excruciating pain all over my body. It took me 2 days to figure out the pain radiated from a strained, injured nerve in the upper neck. During this period, I felt extremely tense and cranky. It felt as if I had zero control over my destiny. However, by the end of summer, I made peace with the city and situation, and of course, everything started flowing smoothly again, including things that had been stagnant for months. See, that's awesome, and I love that we get to like compare these experiences here. It's so I think it's so beneficial because, like, for me, like, you know, I'm not trying to read books, people that are trying to make money and stuff. Like, I just want to, like, find, you know, my tribe that understands and, like, is at least, you know, here in reality with me. It's like in the Matrix, like, you know, you take the fucking pill, you wake up in the real world, and you're like, damn, the real world's like fucking kind of whack. But you know, slowly but surely you realize that you know, in dealing with that, you can access higher abilities, and then you can go back into the Matrix when you need to, and it's a completely different experience because that's an experience where you're living without fear of death. You know, like when they're jumping over the buildings and stuff in the Matrix. You know what I mean? Like, at first he can't do it, but it's like eventually when he realizes, like, oh yeah, I'm just like Avatar. All of a sudden everything becomes possible. It's like a big lucid dream, you know. So, just trying to find the other people living in the real world so that we can learn how to jump over buildings together. You know what I mean? Jennifer Ann says, still on hair, many animals use these hollow hairs to feel their environments in a life and death away, and we don't question why they keep them. I admire your piece on yourself. Please carry on. Yeah, no, totally. I totally get that too. Whiskers, like, oh, come on, all types of animals. It's so obvious everywhere else, and then people just go and they cut themselves up, no problem. You know, like, you cut a cat's whiskers off and they'll be lost in the dark. You know, what about insects? They got antennas. You think your hair's that different than an antenna? No, it's just that you're so much more advanced than an insect that you have fucking billions of them instead of just two. You know, and even looking at the hairs, like how complex the structure is. Like, they're attached to an oil gland. They're attached to a nerve. You know, they grow consistently. You cut it off, it grows back so fast. You think your body is prioritizing anything that's that unimportant, like that much? Like, no, your body's freaking the fuck out when you cut off your hair, and that's why it goes and grows back so fast. Because it's literally like, what the fuck? It just happened. Like, you know what I mean? It's part of your nervous system. It's just that, you know, it doesn't have its own sensation because it's, you know, it's conditioned to harsh, you know, environment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's interfacing with everything. Like, it's you know, it's just, yeah, it's an important thing. Like, even look at how different, like, it is, like, around, say, your mouth and your head, like, completely different texture, right? But this is literally like the texture of a cat's whiskers. You know what I mean? Like, these are so thick. Like, it's for sure sensing something. There's a whole, you can follow, even like I don't really have big chops, but like, you can see it a little bit. But like, some guys have huge, thick sideburns, right? That'll be like triangular shaped, and their hair naturally grows like that. And that's because this is a nerve that's branching out like this. It's the way nerves do. It's coming out of here, out of the same spot where you're, you know, it's like out here, it's coming like this. It's going over your eyebrows into your whole sinus cavity, you know, and all these hairs are connected to all that. And then your vagus nerve is coming out from behind your ear right here and going down through everything. Like, you know, this is all part of the nervous system. It's important. You know, that's another, I've also felt, you know, I've felt through the process, like, this nerve get sore and become engorged, you know. And, you know, it's hard to get around the YouTube thing talking about stuff here, but, like, you know, like, a lot of the activities which people partaked in during watching my videos that I made for a long time, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a way of thinking about accessing your body, but just thinking about, you can use the same stuff that you learn from, you know, doing that, by refocusing that thought process on other parts of your body. And that's basically like what Kundalini yoga is. You know what I mean? Like you learning to excite nerve centers. You're learning to excite different glands in your body. And, you know, if you excite a nerve or a gland, that's a chakra activation. You know, and, you know, you can take that to a really high level where it's like an orgasmic level event within that nerve or that gland. And there's things that the body's capable of that people have no freaking clue how high tech that they are. You know what I mean? But even in nature, we see stuff too. Like, I mean, animals doing like amazing physical stuff. Like even your adrenaline glands are one of these things. You know, that's going to be related to your root chakra and stuff. Like, so, you know, that's like, you know, high level martial arts and stuff is going to be harnessing that kind of power, you know, to where they're able, you know, strength, is only partially physical. A lot of the strength within your body is chemical. So being able to access certain chemicals and stuff, chemical releases in your body can, you know, we all know about the, you know, when the mother gets her adrenaline rush and she can suddenly like superhuman strength. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's something that happens subconsciously, but that's also something that can be, you know, conscious as well. It's just all takes practice. You know, Divineful says, quit your job, especially if you're not happy and making it depressing. Go pursue dreams. Life is short. Totally, I agree. I mean, you know, I think that the first step before anyone quits their job or anything like that is something that everybody can do and benefit from. Even if they decide not to go through it, if they decide to stay and live in the 3D world or they got family, whatever. But the first thing you can do is take a minimalist approach. Get rid of everything that doesn't serve you. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop hoarding material stuff. Stop trying to hold value for material things. Like, if it's not going up in value, it's a fucking drain. You know what I mean? It's not providing you a food. It's you know, it's a drain. Like, if it's not transporting you somewhere, it's a drain. Like, all this shit, like, it piles up. It fucking piles up. And now here's the question I was looking forward to. Great question. James Starlight says, what role does the solar plexus play in our relationship with food and digestion? Have you experienced with it? Have you observed it in your experience? Yes, there's a video entitled I don't know, opening Manipura chakra or something that I made, and I had a very intense solar plexus experience. So this is going to be the last question, you guys, because my phone's about to die. But so if you want the really deep details, go to the Manipura video that I made. That's got all the answers about that there. But yeah, I had this whole experience where I activated Manipura, and you know, it made me spring an incredibly high fever to where my skin was literally steaming. Like, I was just sweating head to toe, steaming. And then when I was in like my fever dream, I looked down and I had like a little sun sticking out of my solar plexus. I could literally see like a ball of plasma sticking out. Anyways, I ended up surviving that all. It was a experience that happened randomly. I was like trying to like remote heal my dad through prayer, and then it just suddenly like sprang on. Weirdly enough, though, after that, yes, like the digestion situation, I mean, I'm trying to get back to that level again. It kind of tapered off eventually, but like for, I don't know, like months or even a year after that, I mean, it's just like I never before that, and this is kind of getting into gross territory, but, you know, I never really felt like the sensation of being like empty. Like there was like empty space inside of me. Like I was hollow. But after the Manipura thing, it's like I would digest so completely and totally that, you know, it's just like every day, first thing in the morning, and it's like, boom, you're just, it's only you. There's nothing inside you. You know what I'm saying? And so that might be gross, but that's a big feature of that chakra and what it does for you. And like, this is just like the feeling of vitality and health that brings, and also the clarity of meditation and how easy it is to meditate when you're in that state of total emptiness. It's fucking crucial to the spiritual path, you know. But that's actually, honestly, like, that chakra is so powerful that, I mean, people consider it a lower chakra, but honestly, by the time you get to that chakra and you open that up, like, you're already getting like very advanced. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and the other thing too is like, spirituality is so powerful, and the things that you can do with it are so powerful. The sensations that you can have are so powerful that, you know, like, everybody, like, you know, they learn yoga or they read stuff and they're like, okay, you know, you got to get out of the lower chakras and, you know, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and get to these, everyone wants to get up into these higher chakras. Getting up into these higher chakras is like a commitment, like you're like, it's like being a monk or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, but those aren't, it's like the power's not all there. There's amazing power there and amazing experiences there, but the lower chakras, the fact that they're called lower is just where they are in your body. They're not like weaker. Like, those lower chakras are like fucking just have superpowers and stuff in them on their own. Now, the superpowers, it shouldn't be your motivation, otherwise it won't work. But just mastering these lower chakras in itself will allow you to be, if you can just master these first three chakras, like, you will be a fucking superhuman here on earth. You know, like, that's all, you know, I mean, you want to have your most high quality 3D life, like, these first three chakras will bring you absolute health within your body, longevity, creativity, discipline, you know, strength, like, everything that you need to succeed in life is in these first three chakras. You know, if you aren't into the whole spiritual process, you still should be working on those no matter what. You know what I'm saying? By the time you get to your heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is now a major, like, you're now have a new personality. You're going to have different priorities, different goals and aspirations and all that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a big decision to go that high. That's the first place that you should start, if you decide that that's something that you really want. And but just realize you're going to be a different person by the time you get to your heart. If you want to be the best version of who you are right now, you want to be a super ego, you can just master these first three chakras. That's going to make you an extremely healthy, long living, and, you know, motivated, successful person. You know what I'm saying? But by the time you're going up any higher than that, you're going to become literally a different person, to the point that you don't know, if you're below that now, you don't really know what you're going to want and think and feel after that. You're going to totally, like, your ego will change. You will, you know. So that's a lot to say. And thank you again, Starbucks Latte. And let me see, quick. I'm going to scan through this for anything super important that I want to get, because I got a tiny bit of battery. Stitcher says, hello, it's my first time here. Your words have helped me. I'm now 9 years sober. I just bought a house after being homeless. I gained custody of my son again, and you're having a wonderful business. Congratulations, Stitched. I'm so happy to have you here. And I'm great to hear. I love hearing all the good news. And you're very welcome. And yeah, thank you for being with us. Got some. Stitch continues. He says, it's been a long road. I'm proud to be here, and I would have been lost without the changes I made. I turned back to the love of God, Jesus Christ, and cast off the enemy. Thank you for your help. That's so good to hear. I'm happy that you were able to find love, and that's just, this is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is like what's possible. Like anything, you know, can be healed spiritually. It's the things that we consider incurable, you can't really say that they are, because honestly, like when you start getting into the realm of what we're talking about, like there is literally, you know, it comes all the way, I don't want to get weird, but it's like, you know, at the highest level, even the laws of physics can be broken. You know what I mean? Like there's just, you know, ultimately, like when you're aware of who you are and what you are and your purpose, this becomes a lucid dream. And in a lucid dream, you know, everything's possible. And don't, if you're at a low right now, or if you've been to a low in the past, you know, look at stories like what Stitch just says. He's buying houses, he's got his kids, like, you know, you can always turn it around. And the thing is that, for example, him having his kids and his house and all that stuff might be something that he would take for granted if he didn't have that low point in the past. So if you're at a low right now, you guys, just remember, all things come to an end, and just start shedding the negative. Don't be so objective. Don't think that there's some specific magic thing. Just work on it all. Work on your whole self. Work on your whole emotional body, your whole physical body. And the things which you didn't see the cure to, that you couldn't figure out what the little specifics you need to do to fix that in your life, watch how it just all evaporates and fixes on its own. You know, it's the free market of self. You know what I mean? Stop fucking with shit. Remember that most things don't require, everyone loves to ask me like, oh, what supplements do you take? What vitamins? I don't take nothing. Every day I'm trying to drop something from myself. I'm trying to drop something from my personality. I'm trying to drop something physically. I'm trying to get rid of all my everything. Because inside, at the very core of you, is God. At the very center is God. Your creator is inside you. Everything else that is you is layers that have been built up on top of that. So start scrubbing off the layers and get to the center of you that is God. I love you guys all. I'll see you next time. That's a weird thing. I meant to do this, but I'm like, see ya.